Give praise to the Maker. With your whole heart declare the might of the Lord. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. Give praise to Christ. With your whole heart declare the love of the Lord. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. Give praise to the Spirit. With your whole heart declare the wisdom of the Lord. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. A reading from Isaiah chapter 6, verses 1 to 8. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting on a throne, high and lofty, and the hem of his robe filled the temple. Seraphs were in attendance above him. Each had 6 wings. With 2 they covered their faces, and with 2 they covered their feet, and with 2 they flew. And one called to another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. The pivots on the thresholds shook at the voices of those who called, and the house filled with smoke. And I said, Woe is me, I am lost, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips. Yet my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Then one of the seraphs flew to me, holding a live coal that had been taken from the altar with a pair of tongs. The seraph touched my mouth with it and said, Now that this has touched your lips, your guilt has departed, and your sin is blotted out. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send? And who will go for us? And I said, Here am I, send me. King Uzziah was king of Judah for 52 years, a long time, a very, very long reign. So when he died, after all those years, it would certainly have been an occasion for mourning and grief, for sadness and loss. It would have been a very important moment in Jewish history, but at the same time, an incredibly, hugely important moment for Isaiah himself, because it was then that he sensed God's call on him, a call to ministry, a call to a new way of life that he describes so well here. The God that we all worship, of course, is the God who calls us, the God who loves us, the God who is near to us. God is immanent, not far away, but with us, beside us. God is closer to us than we can ever understand. The God who calls us as we are. Isaiah finds himself there in the heart of the Temple of Jerusalem, confronted by the presence of God and the seraphim. Seraphim, or seraphs, they were celestial or heavenly beings. It's a glorious, wonderful, wondrous scene, beyond our imaginations. It's all there. The temple, the angels, the heavenly sound of holy, 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 the smoke, the live coal, the presence of God. And confronted by the glory and majesty of this scene, Isaiah confesses his unclean lips and his genuine conviction that he is lost because he has seen the Lord. However, then a seraph touches his lips with a live coal to cleanse him, to remove his guilt, and his sin. And in that moment, a sense of release, a sense of relief, a sense of being loved and forgiven and set free. How we all long for that. Because it was in that moment that Isaiah's ministry really began. And it was a moment of feeling encompassed and filled and surrounded with God's presence, with God's acceptance. And then to God's question, whom shall I send and who will go for us? Isaiah memorably responds with the words that have passed down the ages, very familiar words. Here am I, send me. What does it mean to be called? We're all called in different ways. Some of us feel called through a very dramatic manner. For others, the call is a very still, small, quiet voice, perhaps. How do we react to that call from God? We are all called. We are all called to be ready to go, to follow where God leads. Sometimes we may feel that we have little to offer, that we feel exhausted, that we feel worn out, spent, of no use. Let's never underestimate those feelings of being useless, even worthless. Many people feel that within our communities, our churches. But our encouragement is in Isaiah, and of course primarily in God. Isaiah felt lost, unclean, worthless even, but still God called him. Still God called him. God touched his life, and his guilt was removed, and his sin, in that wonderful phrase, was blotted out. Oh, to have our sin, our sense of worthlessness, our lack of self-esteem, our sense of being useless, to have all that blotted out by God. How wonderful that would be. What a thought. Maybe, just maybe, if we turn our face a little, as Isaiah did, we will see the God who looks back at us and says, you are worthy. You are worthy. You are my beloved child. Maybe, just maybe, if we turn our face towards God a little, let go of the distractions, the concerns, the anxieties, and let God in, then we will see the God who holds us and says, you are of value. Don't forget it. Never forget it. And then, in response, we ourselves might say, just might possibly say, here am I. Here I am. Send me.
Lord.